Well, it's around midday on Sunday, and I hope you're enjoying a nice, relaxing weekend in advance of Christmas, getting prepared for the holiday. And if you left the shopping until the last minute, well, you lucked out kind of as far as the weather is concerned. A few clouds out there on Sunday afternoon, and a few on Monday, but it will stay dry through the day. Here's the Christmas timeline. Clouds drifting in 36 to 40 degrees on Monday afternoon, and then a very weak system moving through Monday night into Tuesday. Now, definitely not a big deal, but the timing coming Christmas Eve into Christmas Day could have an impact on travel. Probably not for most areas. The exception might be inland as you get northwest of Interstate 295 in Rhode Island and then up into interior Massachusetts. And that's if we get what I would consider to be a worst case scenario from this storm, which would be maybe 2 to 3 inches in those areas. But that is, again, the worst case scenario. Looking at it right now, it's probably going to be less than that. And I think it would be nice for everyone to wake up on Christmas morning and see a coating of or an inch or two of snow on the ground. And in some parts of southern New England, that'll probably be the case. So, Christmas Eve, chance of some flurries developing around 9 o'clock in the evening. Better chance, though, as you get closer to midnight. Temperature down about 32 to 35. And then Tuesday, Christmas morning at 6 in the morning, 30 to 34. Now, some light snow or some light rain or rain and snow mixed out there. Best chance of seeing the mix, and the rain would be at the coastline. And it lingers a little during the day on Tuesday. So if you're heading out on Christmas morning, it'll be kind of raw out there. Could still be some snowflakes flying or a light drizzle mist or some raindrops, about 31 to 35 by midday, and then gradual clearing by late in the day and Tuesday evening, with the temperature falling to 30 to 34. So as that temperature falls on Tuesday night, without a lot of wind in the forecast, anything that's wet maybe icing up. And here is the snowfall accumulation map. Now, we haven't changed the contouring on this map since releasing it early in the weekend, but I've lowered the totals just a little bit, 1 to 3 inches in northwestern Rhode Island, northern Connecticut, and most of interior Massachusetts. I think most spots are probably looking at more like 1 to 2 inches, leaving that 3 in there just in case this system ends up being a little more robust than what I'm seeing right now. And snow and a mix of rain and snow from the coast up to about the I-95 corridor. And in those areas, you might not get the official white Christmas, which is an inch of snow on the ground, but in many spots, especially as you get a few miles away from the coastline, I think you'll wake up to at least some evidence that it snowed if it's not still snowing out there on Christmas morning. And then mainly rain for the Cape and for the islands. It is going to be an active week of weather. 3 storms likely to have an impact. The first one very weak, more of a weather system than a storm on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. The second one, though, is going to bring a white Christmas to most of the state of Arkansas. And this is going to be a more powerful system. We'll talk more about the track of that in a couple of minutes, in a minute or so. And the third storm, way out there to the west, and uncertain as to the impact that storm will have by the time it makes it to the eastern United States. But looking at the next weekend, Saturday, Sunday timeframe, I think we could be dealing with another storm. But what about that midweek storm? It has the potential to be a bigger storm, and a lot of the computer models are bringing a lot of mild air out ahead of the system. So essentially, you have this first area of low pressure, which will be over the southeastern states on Christmas Day. And it moves to the north up the western side of the Appalachians. Now, it's going to run into some chilly air over the northeastern United States. The computer models do a pretty, I think, poor job of allowing the storm to get farther north before redevelopment takes place in many spots over the Chesapeake Bay. And then the storm itself runs, say, just south of Albany and then right up over central southern New England. I think it's more likely that the redevelopment will happen a little bit farther to the east and maybe a little bit farther to the south. And then the track of the storm will be closer to southeastern New England, so maybe up over the Cape Cod Canal or something along those lines. Now, that's not going to make a huge difference as far as Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts is concerned. It is going to end up being, I think, a mainly rain event for most of Rhode Island and southeastern Mass. Northwestern Rhode Island could see a few hours of some wintry precipitation at the beginning and at the end of the storm. Temperature-wise, probably not going to see it busting up into the 50s like we did with the last storm. It might get that mild on the Cape and the islands, but I would say Rhode Island is looking more like upper 30s to low 40s with the system. And then as you get farther inland, up in Worcester County and into the Berkshires, could be more of a wintry scenario. And it might be one of those where you go from snow to some sort of freezing rain or sleet for a while, and then back over to some snow with more considerable accumulations in the higher terrain of Worcester County back into western Massachusetts. And it looks like, in my opinion, it is going to be mainly snow up in northern New England. So that's great news for anybody who's heading up and doing some skiing over the Christmas vacation. But with the track of that storm uncertain, it's Wednesday night into Thursday. It's very hard for us to know what's going to happen with the storm next weekend. Some of the computer models are projecting that that has a better chance of being more of a wintry scenario for all of southeastern New England. But a lot to talk about in this final week of the year. And then as we head into 2013, it looks like it's going to be getting very cold in the northeastern United States. And I'll have more on that in the long range forecast coming up sometime probably Monday morning.